Good afternoon, dear students of the group 103. My name is Kалибекулы Д, and I am a teacher of the College of International Service and Management. And now let us begin our lesson. As you can see, our today's lesson will be dedicated to the past tense. And now, to find out what we are going to learn today, I suggest going to the next page and see our lesson plan. Today, we'll try to do our best to cover all of the following grammar points, which are past simple, past continuous, and also we'll try to combine these two tenses in one sentence. And of course, we'll get to know the formation of these tenses. And at the end of the lesson, to consolidate all the materials, we will do some exercises and play some games. I hope you will enjoy it. Okay, we use two principal past tenses when talking about the past simple and the past continuous. The tenses are quite different. That's why we have to be very careful. We have to listen, read, and write down all the important grammar points. First of all, we have to know where to use and how to use our today's tenses. So that's why I would like to start from the past simple. We use past simple to talk about an event which happened at some point in time in the past. For example, I lived in New York for 2 years. He met us at the station. Or he shut the window, switched off the light, and went upstairs. In the last example, we can see that we can also use past simple when one short action happened after another short action. Okay, but what about past continuous? The past continuous tense is usually used when you want to emphasize the continuity of the action. The past continuous tense is also used to express what was happening at the precise moment in the past. For instance, I was writing a letter to my friend from 5 to 6 on Sunday. Second example, they were playing football at 5 yesterday. These two examples show us that something happened at the precise moment in the past. So the precise time, the precise moment will be at 5 yesterday or from 5 to 6 on Sunday. Okay, now the third example. Mother was cooking dinner while I was doing my English homework. The last example shows that we can use past continuous when two actions were happening simultaneously. Okay. So let's continue. So here we are going to talk about past simple a little bit more deeply. To do that, we have to get our previous example. I lived in New York for 2 years. Okay, then we will see the picture of New York. So what does it all mean? This means that the person lived in New York from 2015 until 2017 for 2 years. What happened then? Then he moved. He moved to London. And now he lives in London. Okay, to understand past simple, we have to remember that past simple is always finished action. So the action started in 2015 and finished in 2017. That's it. Okay, so this is finished action. Okay, next page. In the next page, so we are going to discuss about the next example. He shut up the window, switched off the light, and went downstairs. So what do we see here? Here, we see that we can use past simple for the series of actions in the past. When one action happened after another action. For example, I got home, took off my shoes, and went to the kitchen. That's also possible. Okay, if you understood, let's continue our lesson. So now, past continuous tense. Okay, look at the example. Mom was cooking while I was doing my homework. Here we can see the two actions were happening simultaneously. You can also say, we were having dinner while my brother was reading a book. Okay, very good. Now, let's go to the next page. So as I promised you, here we are going to talk the past simple and past continuous tense in one sentence. So we'll try to combine these two tenses in one sentence. Okay, just imagine you were cycling in the evening when suddenly a man stepped on your way, which led to your fall. So what can we understand here? So we can understand from this sentence that we can use both past simple and past continuous tenses in one sentence. And usually we have an interrupted action in this kind of sentence. And usually we put interrupted action in past simple tense. So you can say, when my brother came home, I was listening to the music. Okay, let's continue our lesson. So here in this page, we are going to discuss the formation of past simple and past continuous. As you know, there are two types of verbs, regular and irregular verbs. So let's first talk about regular verbs. For example, in your past simple sentence, you have regular verb. What do we do in this case? In this case, we just add ed. It's very easy. So if your verb is regular, you just have to add ed. For example, you cooked, he walked, she opened. That's it. But what if we have irregular verb? So if you have irregular verb, your verb has to be changed completely. For example, if you have a verb go, you cannot just add ed. You cannot say, I goed. It will be wrong. So you have to change the verb itself. So you have to say, I went, or we bought, you taught, they ate. So the important thing, the most important thing in learning past simple is to memorize all the irregular verbs, because without the knowledge of irregular verbs, you won't be able to make sentences in past simple and learn English, of course. Okay, now, what about past continuous? The formation of past continuous is quite different. So, here we have to be careful with the pronouns. If your pronouns are you, we, they, you have to use to be of past were. So you can say you were working, we were working, they were working. Or if your pronouns are I, he, she, it, you just use was. I was working, he was working, she was working. That's it. Okay, very good. Now, and also one of the important points of past continuous formation, you have to add ing to the verb. Okay, let's go to the next page. Here, we will discuss the formation of negative sentences. So the negative sentences of past simple will be like that. You have to add didn't, did not. And note that here, your main verb will not be changed. It doesn't matter if it is regular or irregular. You can just say, I didn't work. He didn't work. We didn't work. Okay. Now, let's draw our attention to past continuous. Here, you have to add not next to be of past. So it will be, you were not working. You weren't working. They weren't working. Or I wasn't working. He wasn't working. She wasn't working. Okay. What do we have here? Here we have the questions. How can we ask questions in past simple? To make questions in past simple, we have to use auxiliary verb, which is did. So remember, did is the auxiliary verb of past simple. And we have to put the auxiliary verb in the first place. Okay, let's look at the example. Did you work? Did he work? Did she work? Okay, now about past continuous. Here we have to also put to be of past in the first place. So was and were we have to put in the first place. So were you working? Were they working? Or was he working? Was she working? So if you understood, let's continue. Well, grammar rules give us the ground to communicate clearly and effectively. But we also have to do some exercises and play some games. Okay, let's continue. If you go to this page, you will see the game and several questions. So you will have your starting point and ending point. What do you have to do? So you have to follow all the arrows by asking all the questions. For example, let's try to do the first exercise. Let's try to answer to the first question. So the first question is, correct the mistake. Yesterday, he did go to school by car. So here we understand that this is the negative sentence. Negative sentence, we have to use didn't. So the correct answer will be, yesterday, he didn't go to school by car. Okay, very good. And I hope you will be able to answer the rest of the questions very well. Okay, let's go to the next page. Here I prepare some sentence. Here you have to create a sentence. For example, we have here, Kate read a book and the dog come. And the example is, when Kate was reading a book, the dog came. Okay. So the rest of the exercise, they have to be done by you students. And remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me and write me. Okay. In this page, you will have this kind of picture of a very famous and familiar to you cartoon called Up. So to get your exercise, you have to follow the link, which is here. You just have to press Ctrl and press the link itself. Okay, just give me a moment to adjust your video. So when you follow the link, you will have this kind of the scene from the cartoon Up. So first of all, I will explain you how to do it. So you have to follow the link, and then you will get this kind of scene from the cartoon Up. And while watching this scene, you will have some questions, and you have to just answer to these questions. Okay, let's show you some example. So here is our first question. So was Ellie happy at the wedding? So we have to select the right answer. As you saw from the video, she was very happy. We can say extremely happy. And the answer is yes, she was. Okay, so yeah. Let's continue. What do we see here? Our second question. Did Carl's family go to the wedding? Yeah, we saw that they went to the wedding. And the answer, yes, they did. Okay, here's our third question. So we have they, the house after they married. We have to also select the right answer. So the right answer will be they repaired the house after they got married. Okay, very good. So I will pause the video. So here we have other questions which you have to do yourself. Okay, I hope you could understand it. Okay, so now let's go back to our presentation. Okay. If you go to the next page, after the cartoon Up, you will see this kind of video. So here, I prepared for you a video with the questions. So here you will see a very popular and famous sitcom, so British sitcom we can say, which is called Mr. Bean. So let's open it and see. Okay, so here we have the instruction of our exercise. So we have to combine the two sentences into one. Also, we have to use linking words like so, because, also. Okay, let's start. I will show you some examples. Okay, let's look at the example one. So, the correct answer will be they couldn't open the ambulance doors because Mr. Bean had parked behind it. So here we have our second example. So we have the girl cued Mr. Bean through her doll. So the right answer will be while the girl was cueing, Mr. Bean threw her doll. Okay, very good. So to make it easy, I prepared this kind of sheet with these instructions and with the questions from the video. So you have to download it and you can just write your answers right there. Okay, very good. Now let's go to the last point. So now it's time to give you your homeworks. So the first homework will be, you have to make 10 sentences on past simple plus past continuous. And the second homework will be, you have to create a dialogue with any of your group mates on any topic, but you have to use past simple and past continuous. And the last exercise will be, you have to rewrite all the new words from the exercises, videos. This will help you to widen your vocabulary range. Okay, so now it's time to say goodbye, and I would like to thank you for all of you for your attention.